we're off to a great start with part 2. You can keep your Mennonites and DDDs, for I've always been a proud member of Bandana Waddle Dee. Spear is one of the best offensive abilities objectively, and it shows. The Spear ability grants Kirby the use of a long spear. Spear is highly similar to Sword in basic attacks, as it is also one of the few abilities that may be used in the water. The range of these spears is insane, making it one of the only few viable melee abilities in terms of range. Spear is such a very solid ability for not only combat, but solving puzzles as well. But my favorite part of this ability is the secret ingredient of I don't give a shit. And it's best that I let this bud Wombu take it from here.
Throwing 3 spears the size of your own body seems legit to you, then how about throwing spear after spear after spear over and over again? I'm sorry, is there a wall in your way? It doesn't matter, you've got a spear, it's not a problem.
Huh? I missed a move that is the biggest offender to being total bullshit? Well, what is... The laws of aerodynamics have lied to me all this time. This next ability is about as iconic as Kirby himself. Another reference to another Nintendo character, the Sword ability is often easily accessed as Kirby can get it from a wide array of enemies in each game. I love how Sword has evolved throughout the series. In earlier Kirby games, Sword Kirby's moveset is limited to a basic horizontal swipe. However, in more recent games, Sword Kirby is capable of using more advanced swordplay techniques, sometimes including Final Cutter, one of Cutter's primary attacks. Sword attacks from Kirby are powerful, fast, and are practical in puzzles. Not to mention the elemental swords featured in Squeak Squad. There's even a super ability where it can slice through anything. It's no wonder the Super Sword was Kirby's final smash in Smash 4. Yeah. The Robot Armor mode gives Kirby's mech 2 freaking energy swords, and it's really awesome. Though, I don't like using Sword for that long as I want to move on after completing one stage with it. Sword is iconic for a reason, people. It may have took Kirby 9 years to master this skill, but I'll just say this. Kirby's become a much better sharpshooter. With this ability, Kirby wields a bow and shoots arrows at his enemies. He can also charge his arrows up. The longer he charges them, the farther they fly, the more damage they do, and the more objects they can go through. Kirby can also aim his shots in any direction he pleases. In many ways, Archer is similar to Cupid, but Archer improves on Cupid's shooting capabilities and have significantly more power, weight, control, and speed than with Cupid. And get this, he can also hide under a variety of fake scenery like bushes and grass to completely avoid attacks and negate damage. That's kinda scary. Now to be fair, Leaf did this first. But with Archer, you could actually attack while in this invulnerable position. What else needs to be said about Archer? It's powerful, versatile, has good protection, and fantastic range with his bow and arrows. And as its Japanese name would imply, this thing was meant to kill. And it kills fantastically. I'll admit, Planet Robobot has one of the strongest lineups of new abilities in the series. I already talked about ESP in part 1 of my video, and for number 7 we have Dr. Kirby. Nintendo's definition of a doctor seems to be a parent with pills that are meant to be thrown at people you don't like. Good thing Dr. Kirby's moveset is way more expansive. You can either smack them with a clipboard or spray rainbows. But Doctor's most unique move is the Science Lab, which allows Kirby to create one of 4 chemical brews which can either drink or use as an attack against foes. 3 of the concoctions are just the earthly elements with fire flames, electrical projectiles, or light blue brew. The final and most exclusive concoction is a green potion which Kirby drinks to recover vitality, aka health. Doctor is just one of those abilities that is very charming. It may not be the best ability, but just for the fact that the concept is so awesome, I honestly let it slide. Let's just hope that Dr. Kirby doesn't randomly throw pills at viruses like Dr. Mario does. Oh. I warned you about this earlier. I told you I wasn't done with the references. Long before Ryu even made his application for Smash Bros., Fighter Kirby was already showing off his moves and racking KOs like no other ability. Slipping on that copyrighted headband gives Kirby the whole Ryu package, such as your Hadokens, your Shoryukens, and your Tatsumaki Seppukyakus. It's not that hard to pronounce, you guys. Fighter is all about the flow. Slip out of it, and you're a sitting target. But find your groove, and no one can touch you. What I love most about Fighter is how every move feels. Every attack hits with force and combo gracefully with each other. It's the perfect blend of speed and power, keeping the combat fun and satisfying. I say satisfying because of Fighter's main downside. It's really high learning curve. Unlike Ninja, it's easy to lose the flow of your combo game with a missed input, and its lack of solving puzzles. But with all that Fighter brings to the table, I'm sure you can look past that. And I didn't realize till just now that I made a really shitty pun. Oh well, at least I'm consistent. Wow, a triple deluxe ability is back again at number 5? So, what is it? Oh yeah, Bell is so dumb, and I love it. The Bell ability grants Kirby the use of 2 yellow handbells. You can use the bells to smack enemies and send out damage-inflicting sound waves. Kirby can also throw an infinite number of bells, which bounce off of surfaces for a short time before disappearing. When he is attacked while guarding, the bell also automatically sends out sound waves that damage nearby foes. Bell also has the advantage of being one of the few abilities that may be used in water. Bell is just so much fun to use. It's powerful, versatile, has good range and protection, it's common, and takes full advantage of the idea. Okay, sure, you're basically banging your enemies with bronze barrel-like instruments, but as you do this, a soothing and pleasant rhythm still plays. And I'm convinced Kirby's having fun while doing this. The main drawback of Bell is that most of its moves are quite slow and leave Kirby vulnerable while being performed. But still, Bell is dumb and I adore it. Long ago, it has once been said to the world, in all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. Why do I bring this up? Because nature can truly be an amazing sight to behold. But make sure you don't screw with anyone wielding leaves, especially Kirby. The Leaf ability grants Kirby the power to create and control leaves. Sounds kinda weak since leaves are really lightweight, but wait until you figure out what Leaf Kirby can actually do with his new friends. He can perform many far-reaching attacks, including a leaf swirl and a leaf uppercut. He also has a special guard that renders him impervious to all attacks, much like Tack's hiding guard in Kirby Superstar and Archer's hiding move. But unlike Archer, you can't move or attack when hiding. You are basically a leaf on the wind with this sharp ability. With plenty of ranged attacks, moves for close combat, and invulnerability crouch move, Leaf is a very versatile ability. I also really like the design with the leaf-like crown on his head and the emerald in the front. There is a reason why you don't screw around with nature, especially if it's unpredictable. And Leaf is certainly a devastating ability that I'll always grab in the games it's featured in. These top 3 are what I call the pinnacle of Kirby copy abilities, as it came so hard to arrange these in a specific order that I originally had these 3 as a 3-way tie, but that wouldn't be fair, so I ranked them as is. With that said, Triple Deluxe, your abilities were some of the best in the entire franchise. And number 3 on this list is the best that Triple Deluxe had to offer, Beetle. Now, we've seen insects in video game media beforehand, but this, oh my, how went through the roof with Beetle Kirby. With the Beetle ability, Kirby can use the horn on his helmet to attack and skewer enemies. He also gains a new flying animation where he flaps his wings that appear on the back of his helmet, and it inflicts damage on contact. If I had to summarize Beetle, I'd say that it's a combination of other abilities in the game that isn't like Copyright Smash Bros. Over here. You have swords melee and combat, spears range and versatility, stones stall and invulnerability, jets hovering, suplex and backdrops grab and throw attacks, and even some new moves. A powerful, hard-hitting ability, Beetle's main weakness is the long startup and recovery time for its attacks. Also, losing the ability is agonizing, much like losing your last Hammer Brothers suit or spreader gun power-up. But Beetle is still an awesome ability, and I wish that it was in more games. Simplicity seems to be a quality that I love in an ability, because number 2 is by far the simplest ability on this list, and I love it. Wheel.
Gotta go fast, gotta go fast, gotta go faster, 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 faster.
The wheel ability, obviously enough, turns Kirby into a wheel that zooms along the ground, destroying any foe or obstacle, and making Kirby almost completely invulnerable. He is susceptible to damage only by turning. In Squeak Squad, whenever Kirby drives over sparks, flames, or ice, the wheel will take on those elements and gain their properties using a copy scroll skill. Triple Deluxe gave Kirby a charge move which allows him to increase his speed. The Robot Armor mode changes Kirby's mech into a motorbike, which can easily plow through enemies and freely jump between the foreground and background. An obvious downside to this is that although he is fast and damages enemies on contact, he is very hard to control, especially because he is incapable of jumping in some games. The wheel ability is best used on flat terrain and in places where projectile throwing enemies are sparse. But wheel's simplicity and fun factor grants wheel number 2 on my list. Before we hit number 1, let's take a look at some honorable mentions. A very charming ability with a neat concept and my favorite Kirby costume. I guess this is an honorable mention because of the Robot Armor mode. Another charming ability that's visually appealing but is kinda awkward to operate. A very puzzle-heavy ability that just grabs my attention for some reason. Just a really silly ability that's, well, toxic. Did I really just say that? Alright, who wrote this? "18 years and wasted potential." Why? Why take away such a promising ability as water? I mean, finally, it's about time Kirby learned the ways of hydrokinesis. With this ability, Water Kirby can surf on a form of water he creates, thus being able to easily traverse through lava. The basic attack has a lot of range, and the geyser is a great way to take it to flying bosses. He can also neutralize lava blocks using the ability, making it a requirement to access some areas in energy spheres. Kirby can also spit water downwards and hover, destroying enemies along the way, as well as shoot water upwards. In addition, he also has a more powerful underwater attack, shooting 3 water pulses rather than just 1. If I had to say anything flaw-wise, it's that I despise the fact that this ability is only in Return to Dreamland, and I don't like the visual design. I would much rather have preferred the design in the anime and the cancelled GameCube platformer over a certain YouTuber's hair. With all these nitpicks set aside, water is still my favorite ability in the Kirby franchise. It's fun, it's powerful, it's charming, it's versatile, and just freaking cool. I'm FE Smash Bros, and to be quite frank, Kirby did not need an ability that copies abilities. He should honestly stick to what he does best: inhaling enemies. What, you thought I was gonna say sucking? Yeah, you're funny.